Everybody, evening Dream Whiskies fans out there in Dream Whiskies land, hope you're well. It is 7 o'clock here in the UK on Wednesday the 12th of August. Can you believe it? 12th of August, not since we started doing these weekly broadcasts, which of course were in February, but since the whole kind of lockdown thing, we've been going for months now. This is week 28 of our weekly broadcast, and great to see any of those who are here with us this evening. Now, you might realise that at the moment, Cheryl is not with us. Cheryl, of course, is judging round 3 of our cocktail competition. She is, in fact, doing some very important last-minute Dream Whiskies business. She will appear in the screen within the next few minutes, so Cheryl will be here. In fact, you can see her drink is waiting for her. You know what it's like. Even though she's a Dream Whiskies judge, she's not a Dream Whiskies drinker on the whole, so she's got a rum and coke on the go. But I, along with you guys, will have a whiskey. So let's get a whiskey poured and start having a little bit of a chat. Just to say that we might look like we're in slight darkness by comparison to how we are normally lit on these broadcasts. And I just wanted to say that right now, where we are in the UK, the temperature is extraordinarily hot. And so the light, which is normally just about a foot away from my head, slightly out of picture, but just sort of burning into my head, is just too hot. So we've moved it into a different position, which means that we are semi-lit this evening, and hopefully you guys will understand that. So who's with us? Who is with us? Jeff, good to see you as ever. Always good to see you. Adrian Bain, how are you? Kieran, good to see you. Cat Jam, who was last week's Whiskey Geek of the Week and has set the questions, as I will tell you a bit more about later on, for this week's Whiskey Geek of the Week quiz. Paul Musson is with us. Bruce, of course, can't wait to see the next round of fabulous drinks. And Gary, hi, Paul, evening folks. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Right, let's get a whiskey on the go first of all. So, one of our recipes tonight calls for a Speyside whiskey. The others weren't specific about the whiskey, so I've gone for a Speyside whiskey this evening. I've got this Benriach 10-year-old, and I'm just going to pour myself a little shot of that to get us going. At some point, very soon, Cheryl is going to join us. As you know, she's judged the competition for the last 2 weeks, and she's come back for the 3rd week in a row tonight to judge this evening's competition. So just to let you know, the cocktail competition that has been running, we have a winner from week 1 and week 2. Tonight, the last 3 entrants, and we will pick a winner. Those 3 winners are going to go through to the final. And I'm going to say this a few times this week. The final is not next week. In fact, there is no broadcast next week because guess what? We're taking it easy. We're actually not able to broadcast next week. So the final and our next broadcast will be in 2 weeks' time. But I'll keep reminding you as we go through everything this evening. Dave Chilton, I sat in the garden by a pond with a bottle of Cardew Gold Reserve. You know what? That's where I should be. Not that I got a pond in my garden, but I should definitely be in the garden with this whiskey. Paul, ice cold beer for you tonight. That makes sense. Oh, okay, being chased by a McMyra. Okay, fair enough. David Rose, I'm back. Great to see you guys after your holidays. Hope you had a brilliant holiday, David. Where were you? Where'd you go? And Steve Simpson, evening all to you. Are you in?
I'm in.
She's in.
Hello.
Cheryl's joining us. Say hi to Cheryl. She is back for the 3rd week in a row. As you can see, we are in a little bit of darkness. Let me just get this camera so we can pick up a little bit more of Cheryl.
It's so hot.
It is a hot evening, that is for sure.
Very,
we
very
are
hot.
Melting here. Bruce, what you got? Bourbon Barrel Vanilla Smoked Porter by Ommegang Brewery in New York. Okay. You always come out with something new for me. It's like every day is a school day, as far as I'm concerned, when I'm listening to Bruce. Anyway.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. I hope you're not melting. Wow. I guess if you're in California or somewhere like that, you're really used to the hot weather.
But they've probably got air conditioning.
Oh yeah, you have air conditioning. See, we don't have air conditioning because we're not used to the hot weather. We don't get it often enough to have it, and we are just dripping. Gary saying hi to Cheryl. So cheers, everyone. Let me tell you what we got lined up for you. We have shortly, as usual. That is rather nice, actually. Like that. Recommend that for sure. I'm going to tell you the winners of last week's whiskey competition and also our spot prize giveaway. let you know what this week's spot prize giveaway is as well. We're then going to launch into our Whiskey Geek of the Week. As I mentioned last week, we had a first-time winner. After the monopoly of what I call the big three, just winning and winning and winning. Cat Jam, and I'm going to call her Cat Jam because I said her full name last week and she said busted. So I'm going to guess that she didn't want me to say that. So Cat Jam won last week. You can find her up on our gallery and our website. She has set the questions for this week's Whiskey Geek of the Week quiz, and the theme is Irish whiskey. So I'll give you that up front. Some really nice questions there. So we'll get into that. Then we're going to get into our 3 cocktails for this evening. So they are the last 3. And as I did last week, and I'm going to try not to ruin it this week, I will tell you who they're from. So I'll tell you who they're from.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to
tell me who they're from.
No, I mean, I'm going to tell you who the 3 people are.
Yes.
But I won't tell you who did which cocktail.
Let's see how that goes.
Let's see how that goes, because I sort of blew that out of the water last week. Anyway, the 3 people that are in tonight are Charlie Oates, Lubka Kopmanikova, and Mark Russo. Rosso. I can't actually even remember seeing you up here, Mark, so I'm wondering whether Mark is someone who picked up on our mail out and put in a recipe. But if you are watching, Mark, good. Say hello to us. Let us know that you're there. Dave Chilton is saying cheers. Cheers. Good.
Cheers, Dave.
All right. Okay, so let me tell you who the winners were for last week. So our whiskey competition, which ended as ever last night at midnight, new competition started straight away, 1 minute past midnight, is Neil Thomas. Neil, congratulations. You are our winner. Well done. You have the opportunity to pick your prize from our prize library. So that's Neil Thomas. And the winner of our spot prize, what is this? Have Campervan Will Travel. Okay, did a week in Cornwall, in a couple of days up in Northumberland, visited Cotswolds Distillery. Brilliant.
Nice.
Got one of their special releases. Wow, David, you have made,
Sounds like my kind of trip.
That sounds like... Well,
campervan for me, distilleries for you.
Cheryl, definitely the campervan. Actually, I don't mind the campervan, but I prefer a distillery. It sounds like a brilliant trip, David. Brilliant trip.
Sound of that.
So who won our prize from last week for the spot prize? So just to remind you, I was giving away a bottle of Psycho Juice. There we go. Ghost Pepper Killer Hot Sauce. And the reason why I was doing it is that it is a great sauce to put into Bloody Marys. It's a great sauce to put into things like a ghost margarita. If you like a lot of spice and things, and of course on your food as well if you want. I just thought it was a good thing to put out there. Who won it? Well, the winner was actually last week's cocktail competition winner. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Dave? No, Dave was the week before.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's not bad. Having put you on the spot.
You really put me on the spot.
Jeff.
Rabbit in headlights.
Jeff Canis.
Jeff.
Okay. Jeff, well done. If you're watching, I think you've already said hi. So Jeff, you've won that Super Hot Ghost Pepper Sauce, so I will get that on its way to you, and let us know what you make with it. And hopefully you like hot things, because it's really hot. This week's prize, I decided, because bitters are quite a theme with us, that it'd be good to give a bottle of these away. These are Fee Brothers old-fashioned bitters. In other words, they're not old-fashioned as in they're bitters based on an old-fashioned recipe. They are specifically blended for use in an old-fashioned cocktail. So they are superb bitters, and that is our... that's our... In fact, I've got some down here just to show you what they look like. There we go. There we go. So this is what someone's going to win this week in our spot prize. When I say this is mine, so you're not going to get that one.
Have we got a mat for my drink?
Yes, we got a mat.
I'm making a mess.
Lady is asking for a mat. Bartender is providing a mat. Let me just wipe that down. There we go. Shall I wipe the mat down?
Thank you.
Okay.
You got any nuts behind your bar?
Yeah. There. Right. Who else have we got here? Congrats, Neil and Jeff. Neil and Jeff. Congrats. Okay, well done. So that's what we got in play. We are going to dive into, first of all, our Whiskey Geek of the Week competition. So remember, if you're playing, if you want to get yourself up on our, what would you call it? More better than a Rogues Gallery. What would you call it?
Rogues Gallery works for me.
Do you think so?
I think so.
The Rogues Gallery, all right? So if you want to get your picture up on the Rogues Gallery with the other Whiskey Geek...
Gallery or Rogues?
Rogues.
Rogues.
Yeah,
that's what I
rogues.
thought you said.
Not roads.
I thought you said rose.
No. Oh, Rose Gallery.
Rose Gallery.
No, rogues. Yeah. Whiskey Geek Rogues. So if you want to get yourself up there, play along. You know how it works. It's a bit of a quiz that runs through our broadcast. You've got to mark yourself. You've got to be honest. If you get the biggest score, you are our winner. And it helps to have a pen and paper along the way. Jeff, there you are. Hot stuff coming my way. Absolutely right. Definitely. Okay, so as ever, and we started a bit of a trend for this, the first 3 questions in the first round are anagrams. So I give you the anagram, you've got to unscramble the letters and come up with a whiskey distillery, all right? And remember that the...
Sorry, I need to put it on silent.
Sorry, see, what's going on here is that Cheryl's got the old sort of dual broadcasting going on, and hence the reason why my own voice was feeding back to me there. So remember the theme is Irish whiskey this week, and question number 1, work out these anagrams. Bruce is saying to Jeff, put it on your fried eggs in the morning. Yeah, definitely wake you up. Wake you up and stop you from going as well. Here we go. First one, Lush Limbs. Lush Limbs. That's spelt L-U-S-H, and then Limbs, L-I-M-B-S. Lush Limbs. Which whiskey or whiskey distillery is that? Remember, if you don't catch it as I'm saying it, Cheryl will put the questions up in the comments at the end of this little bit of the round, so you can go back and you can work them out as well. You can pick them up from there. Okay, that was number 1. Number 2. These are very good, by the way, Kat. I really like these. Number 2. Angled Ghoul. Angled Ghoul. That's spelt A-N-G-L. E-D, angled, and then Ghoul, G-H-O-U-L. Angled Ghoul. Which whiskey or whiskey distillery is that? What's going on there? Bacardi Cocoa. It's delicious. Was that an answer to someone?
It was an answer to Bruce. Bruce asked me what
I
Bacardi
see.
was drinking.
Bacardi Cocoa or Bacardi Coconut?
Yeah. Is it called coconut now?
Yeah, I mean, so this was released by Bacardi about 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
Yeah, at least.
Something like that. And they called it Bacardi Cocoa. And we loved it then. Cheryl loved it in particular. And then they just discontinued it. I don't know if it was available anywhere else, but in the UK they discontinued it. And then they just recently brought it back and called it Bacardi Coconut. But the same thing.
It's very nice. I like it.
Very good. And good in cocktails as well.
Yeah, it's just nice with Coke.
Which is a kind of a cocktail, isn't it? Coke and cocoa.
Is there a minimum amount of ingredients? Come on, let me finish the question. Is there a minimum amount of ingredients to have that has to constitute it for it to be called a cocktail?
Okay, I found this on the web for is there a minimum amount of ingredients?
Wow, okay,
Check
that's
it out.
Siri's answered that question. Well done, Siri.
Wasn't expecting
Okay,
that.
we were having a nice sort of interaction. It was a bit like an interview there for a second, and then Siri got involved. The answer is no. There's not. There's not. As long as it's more than one.
Right.
You know, a combination of ingredients potentially. So some people and some mixologists say that for it to be a cocktail, it's got to be a mixture of sweet and sour and bitter and I can't remember the other one, dry or something like that. But I was out in. You remember when I went to? So I went out to Cognac some years ago with. I know the sort of cream of the world's great mixologists plus me. So great plus me. So they let me in. And Dale de Graaf actually made this point. He said, there's the right number of ingredients for a cocktail is whatever the right number is. So if it's 2, it's 2. So something like a gin and tonic, that cocktail really.
So would you call a gin and tonic a cocktail?
In some places, it's a cocktail. We call it a mixed drink.
Right.
Or a spirit and mixer. But if you pick up Mr. Boston's Bartender's Guide in the United States, gin and tonic is in there as a cocktail.
Okay.
Where are we? Question number 3. Number 3. So Egg Ink Lab. Egg Ink Lab. So egg, E-double-G, egg, of course. Ink, I-N-K, and then lab, L-A-B. So there you go. Cheryl's put them up in the comments. So we've got our first 3 questions. You've got the entirety of the broadcast to work out what they are. And now what we're going to do is going to go into the first cocktail this evening of the 3rd round, the final the final first round, if you like, of our cocktail competition. So I'm not going to tell you who this is because I blew that last week, but it's quite an interesting little drink and a bit of a challenge for you, I
Okay.
think. All right, so it goes into a martini glass. Let me get the glass out and just put it on the side. And here are the ingredients. So when I say a challenge for Cheryl, she's going to try and put on her judge's hat tonight. So the idea is that whether she personally would drink something or not, you're gonna just sort of use your palate
Yeah,
to
but I'm
assess.
going to struggle with that. That's like Christmas morning.
Well, let's see.
And I don't really like that present that you just brought me. So I'm not very good
With
with pretending.
okay, so no pretending. I think this might surprise you though.
Okay.
All right, so here we
Well,
go.
in fairness,
Yeah.
Dave's in that first week really surprised me, and Jeff surprised
Well, didn't it?
me. Yeah,
Didn't it?
they really did. So yeah, no.
All right, so look, let's start with the whiskey. I'll put the whiskey back over here actually. So we're going to start with the whiskey, and this person gave me the recipe in ounces or proportions of, and I've extended them out into mils, so it still have the same ratio in there. So we're going to go for 30 ml of our whiskey. So 30 ml into our can, like so. Just checking that we got this right. So some of the ingredients I don't have. One of the ingredients is something called Berentzen Apfellikör, which sounds like an apple schnapps. So what I've got here is I've got a little bit of German apple schnapps, which is what I'm going to put in, which I think is probably very close to what you said, this person. And we're going to put in 15 ml of this. So let's get 15.
So if we're not broadcasting next week because we're away,
Yes.
the following week we're going to do the final
Yes.
3.
The final 3. We're going to have a mix-off.
Right, okay, that's cool.
Okay, good. Now the next ingredient says a hint of spearmint schnapps. Now the very closest I can get to this is some creme de menthe. I know you don't like creme de menthe, but this person said a hint of. You can tell that I'm looking down here and reading. I just need to make sure I get it absolutely spot on. It said about a dime size in a bar spoon. So I'm going to go for the very merest amount of this.
Yeah.
Now there is a good chance that the peppermint schnapps that we were talking about, or this person was talking about, actually wasn't green, was white. But in
Okay.
terms of flavour, I know that we are pretty close. Next thing that we're talking about is some sour mix, and quite a bit of sour mix. So we're going to put in 50 ml of our sour mix, which I've just about measured out completely.
Talking
There.
of sour mix, it just reminded me, do you remember when we were on holiday once?
Yes.
Why do you always look so worried when I speak?
Because when you say, do you remember when? And I'm thinking, well, we got some people that are sort of tuning in here at the moment. Yeah, go on, tell me. What is it?
No, do you remember when I asked, we were in a bar and I fancied a nice fresh lemonade?
Yes.
And they used obviously fresh lemon.
Yes.
But it was so sour.
Yeah.
I couldn't drink it.
No, because it wasn't what you had in mind, I
No,
suppose, as
no,
well.
that's the trouble.
Lime juice, and we're going to put in, well, it says half a tablespoon really, which is not much, it's about 10 ml, 8 to 10 ml, so I'm just going to squeeze that out like so. There we go. All right. That's good.
You look very hot.
I know, can you see my head
Yeah,
dripping here?
You're a bit of a, what's the name?
What, hot person?
Hot.
Yeah.
No, I can't know his name's gone. Your favourite comedian.
Oh,
Lee Evans.
Lee Evans.
Lee Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drips.
No, is it Lee Evans?
It is Lee Evans.
Okay.
Yeah, your favourite comedian.
Yeah, he is hilarious.
Yeah,
A
when
bit
he's
of a
on
drip.
stage and he absolutely drips
Yeah,
away.
exactly. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to give this a shake. So let's get all those ingredients in there, and we're going to give this a shake, and we're going to get it into our martini glass, and then we've got to garnish it with a very specific garnish. So let me shake that. Oh, this feels nice and cold.
I bet it does. Stick it on your head. That'll keep it cool.
Oh my goodness me. Burning up here. So drink number 1. Let's get that out. Come on, babies. There we are. And let's give this a strain. Looks good, actually, I have to say.
Is it going to be green? Oh no,
No, it's not.
too green.
It
Okay.
looks rather. This looks rather nice, actually. That looks quite interesting. This is already surprising me. Now the garnish. This person said, take a lime wheel like that and poke a mint leaf through it. So just to make it a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sort of top of a sprig of mint. So I'm going to leave myself that. You see that? And then I'm going to poke a little hole in the middle of this, I think using my tongs. So there we go. And then I'm going to thread that through.
Well, that looks pretty.
Like that. I think that looks kind of
I like that.
cute. And I
Very
wonder
cute.
if that's meant to go on the side of the glass, like so. I think maybe like that. What do we think, everyone?
Looks nice.
If I bring that up there,
It's sort of a slightly lime green, isn't it?
that's rather nice, I
Well,
think.
It makes sense that it would be lime.
Okay, so you, before we even started, you were saying, don't like this, I don't like the sound of the ingredients that are in it, but I think maybe, I don't know, I mean, you know, it is a sour.
Okay, let's go for it.
So Cheryl's going to taste this. If you are the person that invented this cocktail, please forgive the fact that this is not necessarily the combination that you would go for. You look surprised.
I do look surprised. I am surprised.
Is that good? I like the colour actually. I don't know if you're meant to have.
So, did you put any sugar in it at all?
Well, the sugar is in the sour mix.
Oh,
So
right,
the sour
okay.
mix is a sort of lemony, limey, and sugar mixture.
It's your kind of drink,
Yeah. Shall I
But-
taste it?
but I'm not.
Averse?
Yeah, I'm not against it. I like it.
Are you surprised?
I'm very surprised.
Yeah. Let me have a taste.
Yeah, I'm very surprised.
Well, I like that.
I know you do.
The peppermint, actually.
It's just the right amount.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd have put too much in there, that's all you would have tasted.
Yeah.
This, by the way, is very good. This is a really good drink. Congratulations, Mr., Mrs., mystery person that invented this. Obviously, I'll make that known later on, but I think really good start. Whatever happens, I know that I like it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Very good indeed.
So, did we decide what's going to happen with the final three?
Yes,
We have,
no.
or you have.
I have. There's going to be a remix of. Because what you haven't done and what we haven't done is we haven't tried the final three against one another.
Okay, so it has to be the same. Can they tweak?
I don't think so, because we got to go with a drink that got them into the final. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the final. So, and I think people feel the same way about that. I got a few messages from some people say it's got to be the same drink. But what's going to happen is you're going to revisit them.
Yeah.
But this time, not against the ones they've already beaten, but against each other, and so you'll have that kind of.
So I'll have a benchmark.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so well done for Cheryl. Rim the edge with sugar. Well, over here.
Yay!
Yes,
Good idea.
absolutely. Well done. Okay, here we go. Questions number 4, 5, and 6 coming up for our Whiskey Geek of the Week. Remember, Irish theme. All questions from Cat Jam. If you want to say great questions to Cat Jam, I'm pretty sure she's with us at the moment, so you can give her, I don't know, some jazz hands or something like that. Here we go. Question number 4. I'd like to know, or Cat would like to know, what is the nickname of Dublin's historic whiskey quarter or whiskey area? So what is the name of Dublin's historic whiskey quarter or whiskey area?
No, I was just about to say, did we go there? But I didn't go to Dublin with you. so
No, but I did. I've been. So yes, what is the name of that? All right, that was question number 4. Question number 5. Wow, this is going to be the hottest. This is just
I'm really suffering.
ridiculous. A pair of us here. I'm wondering if it's worth opening one of these just to get some air in here. What do you
I know,
think?
it's really.
What do you think it's worth? Should we just
I'll
one of
open
them?
those because.
What, the whole or just one?
No, I just.
Right, we're sending Cheryl off to do some door opening because we are passing out behind the bar here. We generally close all the doors anyway, you know, in the winter because it's too cold, and in the summer because when I'm talking to you, my voice tends to carry outside and we don't want to disturb anyone, but honestly...
I don't think it's going to make a difference.
No, I can feel the air. And then we got some oxygen now. Right. Okay, question number 5. From the 1970s until 2015, Dublin had no working distilleries. At its peak, it had how many? Okay. So it had nothing really from 1970s until 2015, but at its peak it had how many? Was it A, 22? Was it B, 27? Or was it C, 35? Okay, so you've got to pick how many distilleries did Dublin have, working distilleries, at its peak? Was it 22, 27, or 35? Cheers.
Hey, that's my drink.
I really like that. I really like that. Quite surprised at how you can use something like peppermint or spearmint and most of the time completely dominate the drink. And this time just add a subtle hint to it. It's really nice.
Touch.
I think so. All right, question number 6. Number 6. Which distillery opened in 2017 in a former church which has the founder's grandfather buried in the graveyard? Wow, so which distillery opened in 2017 in a former church which has the founder's grandfather buried in the graveyard? Wow. All right, that's questions 4, 5 and 6. For this week's Whiskey Geek of the Week, remember, if you want to get yourself up on our Rogues Gallery on our website with all our previous Whiskey Geeks of the week, including last week's winner, that's Cat Jam, then make sure that you answer the questions and beat everybody else. You need to get more right. As you know, Cheryl's put question 4, 5 and 6 up in the comments so you can see those. And now we are moving on to cocktail number 2 for this evening. Now the first one, by the way, I didn't even tell you the name, and you need to know the name. Name of the first one was a Speyside Summer Sour. This one is called Two's a Pear.
Ooh.
Two's a pear, but not a pear, but a pear like the fruit pear. So
Oh,
two's
right,
a
okay.
pear.
Two's a pear.
And here we go. So the person who sent this one in actually just sent me the ingredients. Didn't send me the ratio or what to do with them or anything. So I have tried to get my head around what this person was trying to achieve. So there's been some input from me. Not in terms of the ingredients, but in terms of what we're doing. First thing we're going to do is this. We're going to take a pear, hence the name. Two's a pear. And what I've got here is a tinned pear, or half a pear from a tin or from a can. And the reason why I'm using these is because they're guaranteed in terms of texture,
And
sweetness.
as well. Tin pears are much sweeter, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, all of that. So I'm going to take this pear and I'm actually just
Are
going...
your hands clean?
Really? Really? You're actually going to ask me that? Can you believe that? Suddenly we weren't online or broadcasting to anyone. That was definitely a wife talking to her husband.
They
Yeah.
love it.
Yes, indeed, they love it. Yes, indeed, they are clean. You'll be
Good.
pleased to know. So we have this half a pear. Let me just rinse off my hands again, actually. Half a pear chopped up into small pieces. And then what I want to do is I want to get it into our mixing glass, the bottom half of our Boston shaker. So let's just pop all of those little pieces in there. Are we good? Yeah, good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crush them up a little bit. So you could blend this, I think, but there was no mention of blending, and I'm sure this person would have said blend if they wanted me to blend it. But I do feel that these need to be crushed up. So again, really easy. If you're using tinned pears, they're going to mash down really easily.
Yeah.
Whereas if
Also, they're not stringy, are they?
no, they're not stringy. They're not stringy at all. And this is almost as good as blending. So I've actually turned that into quite a puree of pears. And now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. So whiskey, obviously. And I'm going to go for 35 ml of our whiskey. So let's just measure that out. Remember, I'm using this Benriach this week. So this is a Speyside whiskey. Very typically...
Speyside's quite light, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of soft,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's definitely no peatiness in
No.
there or anything like that. Often quite sort of caramelly and rich as well. The next ingredient is vermouth. And again, the person didn't say what kind of vermouth, and I just feel that it's got to be dry, and I'm assuming that is what you meant. So here we go, vermouth, and I'm going to put in a small amount of vermouth, just 15 ml.
So, am I right in thinking with Scottish whiskies, the further south you go, the softer and lighter they are. Because I know that when we went,
Yeah.
the first distillery we went to was Glenkinchie,
Mm.
and that was really light. And I seem to remember the further north we went,
Mm.
they were a lot more peaty or smoky, or yeah.
It depends where you. Yeah, I mean, it's not as cut and dried as that. I know that we had that conversation with some of the people up there. If you go north from Glenkinchie, that you can go off into Speyside area, which is the sort of heart of most, actually the majority of whiskies that are produced in Scotland, and you know their style, and you've got Glenfiddich and
Glenfarclas. What's that?
yes, they were there. We visited them. But then if you go off into the Highlands, you get different styles of whiskey. If you go over to Islay, then you start getting all those peaty whiskies as well. So it's not as simple as that, but I think there's a kind of a line that snakes through. So we've got whiskey, vermouth, the pear in there. Now this person said cinnamon. Now I don't know whether the cinnamon actually was for garnish, but I think it works well with pear anyway. So I'm going to use it for both. I'm going to put a pinch of cinnamon in there, and then some bitters.
Right, well, I like cinnamon.
You like cinnamon, but what about the bitters? I think in terms of bitters, I've got quite a few flavours. Now this person might have simply meant Angostura bitters, but I'm just gonna go out there, and knowing what you like and what works for you, I'm gonna put in 4 dashes of cherry bitters.
Okay.
So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 dashes of cherry bitters. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a really good shake to try and break up that pear even more, and then get it into a glass for you and see what happens.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put it into here.
Yeah, I knew you was going to use that.
You knew that I was going to use that. Need loads of ice. Let's get the ice out. So making sure that we've got lots of ice. Get all these ingredients in here. By the way, if any of you are doing these, Bruce, what you're saying, I'm cringing every time you wrap your muddler against the glass.
Wrap your what?
My muddler against the glass.
I know.
What this?
I know.
Is it a horrible sound?
It was disgusting.
Oh, was it a kind of a... Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about...
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Bruce. I thought the same thing, but I thought, no, I better not say it.
Sorry about that.
It was quite horrid.
Was it disgusting? Yeah, right, okay, let's shake this up. And this shaking as well is going to really help to break down the pear even further. All right, let's see how that works out. Interesting. I think if I double strain it, it's going to take a week to get through the fine strainer.
Is it bitty?
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's sort of force this out. So I think I'm catching quite a lot of the pear in the strainer. Let's see if we can get some more out. There we go. This is a drink that definitely needs perfecting. I'm actually starting to think that it might be worth blending this. What's going on there?
I got the wrong end of the
Oh
stick.
no, just waiting for it to crack.
I got the wrong end of the stick.
Okay, Bruce. So actually, you were talking at cross purposes with Cheryl. You were talking about the noise, weren't you?
Yeah, but yeah. Oh well, just my mind.
Listen, Bruce. These. I mean, I probably shouldn't say this, right? But these things are really thick and heavy, so they're okay.
You have.
Yeah, but not with a
smashed
muddler. I've smashed them doing other things, haven't I? I'm thinking I put this in the wrong glass now, but nevertheless, as a drink and as a combination of flavours, let's just pop that on there. I think I will just sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on the surface.
Putting some more ice in.
Yeah, I mean the ice could bring it up, obviously. How do you want to try it? Do you want to try it like that, or should I just drop some ice in it for you?
Let me try both, and then I'll see if it's cold enough.
It's
Right
definitely
now, I
going to
need
be
something
cold.
really cold.
I think so. Anyway, this is cocktail number 2. I've tried to bring it to life. If this is your drink and you know it's your drink, then hopefully you're happy with what I've come up with.
It's unusual.
Unusual. Unusual is a bit like saying it's different.
It's different.
It's different and it's
a
unusual.
challenging drink.
Is it? Is
Yes.
it? Says
It's
that's-
challenging.
So this is challenging you more than this one. Let me
Oh,
try
yes.
this one. Let me try this. Okay.
So I can't taste the pear.
It needs more of a lot of things, and maybe more sweetness
Well, maybe
as well.
we shouldn't dissect it just yet.
No, but I think it could be there. I just think it needs. I reckon sweetness would help it quite a lot, interestingly. But good idea, and often, sometimes, some really good cocktails come from throwing together some ingredients that you're not really quite sure of, and then what happens is it evolves. But interesting. So we've got two interesting ones. I do think this could be good blended as well. Okay, that's two cocktails down. So we've got Speyside Summer Sour, which is this one. We've got Two's a Pair, which is this one over here. And then we will go on to our third cocktail shortly, but not before we go into round 3 of our Whiskey Geek of the Week. So let's see who is still with us. Actually, numbers are down this week. I've noticed that not so many people watching us. I wonder if it's really hot where you guys are as well.
You might be down the beach.
And you're doing some sensible things like being in the garden.
Yeah, paddleboarding.
Paddleboarding.
Kayaking, yeah.
Okay. Right, here we go. Question number 7. Would like to know this. What is the world's oldest licensed distillery? What is the world's oldest licensed distillery? And I guess an extra point if you can tell me what year it was conceived. I was going to say conceived.
Built.
It's opened. What year?
Yeah.
So that was question number 7.
Do we get a clue in what? In the whole world?
In the whole world, but this is an Irish whiskey night. So the clue
okay.
is it's going to be an Irish whiskey distillery, I think.
Right, okay, I'm with you.
All right. That was question number 7. Question number 8. I like this one. This is a good question.
Is that?
Mm.
You're dripping.
Am I dripping?
Mm.
Do I need a towel?
I think you need something.
Okay.
I think you need
Question number 8. Which distillery owner, whose initials feature in the brand name, worked his way up to owner from being a distillery stable boy? Okay, so I want to know which distillery owner, whose initials feature in the brand name, worked his way up to owner from being a distillery stable boy?
You can do that and then I'll read the next question, if you like. So, whilst Paul dries himself off a little bit, I will give you the next question, which is question number 9, which is the only peated Irish single malt? And I'll say that again, just in case you didn't understand my accent, which is the only peated Irish single malt? There you go. So that was question 9.
Excellent. Okay,
Did I
good
do
job.
that good enough for you?
Did she do a good job? Okay, what's going on there? Avril. Oh, Avril, I'm glad to see you there. You're in the garden. You'll be really pleased to know that the Clark's maple syrup finished.
Oh, yeah.
And we've invested in a really pricey, upmarket, expensive maple syrup, which next time we use that in a recipe. We were thinking of you this week, weren't we?
I know, yeah.
We said, what will Avril say?
I went and I specifically looked for the most expensive maple syrup, and
She
it's
did.
in a really nice bottle.
Nice bottle, nice bottle.
Yeah.
Gary, you're saying no, laugh out loud. Is that
Obviously.
no in terms of paddle boarding or
This
stuff
one?
like that? Check this out.
Is that good enough?
You happy with that? Buckwood.
Buckwood.
Organic as well.
Yeah.
100% pure Canadian maple syrup. So next time we
Quite
use that in a
like
recipe, Avril will be thinking of you. How does it make you feel, by the way, Avril, that you know that we were thinking of you this week?
We
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah?
We listen.
We listen to what you have to say.
Feedback.
Mostly saying, you saying, for goodness sake, not that Clark's maple syrup again. Okay, Bruce, what's going on? Raining here. We're in my yard work time. Okay, I have the whole week off. Good to see you not working. What's that? Got a lot done, including tending my rather large garden. I got a large garden.
Nice.
Loving large gardens. Nice one. What? You think that's a euphemism? Avril, oh, glad to hear. Well done, Cheryl. Perfect. Great. Honestly, that makes us feel better. Oh, it's not that warm here. Gary, you're in Ireland, aren't you? I seem to remember. Is that right? Sorry if I got that wrong, but I think you are. And it's not that warm where you are. God.
Don't worry, next week when we're away, it's going to be pouring down and we're going to have thunder and lightning.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so look, cocktail number 3. So we're going to find out which one is going to end up in the final with Jeff Canis and Dave as
Okay.
well. But this one is called a cherry and banana bakewell. And you might remember week one, I actually can't remember the names of the cocktails, but you definitely said one of them tasted like a cherry bakewell.
Yes.
Don't think it was called a cherry bakewell, but this one is specifically called a cherry and banana bakewell. So let's have a go. Let's see how this one works out.
You used a fresh banana.
I did. I'm not using fresh banana in this one.
Okay.
This recipe doesn't call for fresh banana, but it's quite a few
Okay.
ingredients in it. And we're going to put it into this over here. So I'm going to get this little goblet out. And we're going to start, of course, with our whiskey. I'm starting to like the colour of that as well. It's just up from a
It seems to
sour.
be growing.
In terms what as in?
Colour.
Oh yeah.
No, it seems glowing and
Oh,
growing.
glowing.
No, I did say glowing.
That's what I thought you said.
No, I did actually say growing.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking glowing as well.
So 40 ml of our whiskey. Again, I'm using this Ben Riach 10. Then what we're going to use is some maraschino cherry liqueur. So it's not a cherry brandy. It's a maraschino cherry liqueur, which I imagine this person knows that you like that. And we've got 25 going in. So there's 25.
Can I ask the guys a question or some advice?
Advice.
Well, yeah, like some advice on your behalf. Something that I know that you're doing,
Right.
and something that you could possibly
Okay.
need some help with.
Sure. I'm not even.
Right. You're not even sure where I'm
I'm not even sure where she's going with this, but let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Before she does, what's this? I like the sound of this one. Gary saying, cool. Ceiling fans are on, but just blowing the hot air around rather.
That's what we've got.
You know what? We've got ceiling fan, and
Yeah.
same thing, Paul. It just seems to move hot air around. Nobody seems to. Bob Brown, hi Paul. Joined late. Better
Hi, Bob.
late than never. Good to see you, Bob. We are on to 25 of creme de banane. So this is where the banana flavour is coming from, I assume.
Excellent.
There we go. Yeah, ask away.
Yeah, no, well, we've been, this week we've been given a bottle of pear gin. And we're currently experimenting with some cocktails.
We are.
Just wondered whether or not any of you guys had come across a flavoured gin, and if you...
Well, specifically a pear gin.
Well, specifically a pear gin, yeah.
Because it's one that, so I've been asked to come up with ideas. Cheryl and I, as ever, bouncing them around. But pear gin is quite an unusual combination. So what do you guys think? I think
We've
it's a
got
good
mint. Oh
What?
no, the mint's in that one, isn't
one.
it?
The mint's in this one, yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Yeah.
an almond syrup, okay? So we've got the whiskey, creme de banane, the maraschino liqueur. We've got almond syrup and putting in 15 ml of almond syrup as well. It's just a little bit
I
more.
love the smell of almonds.
Look at that. That
Nice.
is delicious. A few more ingredients. Well, a couple more ingredients to go in.
Okay.
Then we are going to add some guava.
Oh,
You liking that?
that smells nice.
It smells nice as well. This goes well with that. So we're going to have some guava. Actually, I'll measure this out. So I want 60 ml of guava. So let's get the guava juice in there. And then a tiny bit more.
We used guava juice in something a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, we did. Yeah,
we did.
I know. I'm actually thinking that... oh, no, I know what we used it for. Yeah, I know what we used it for.
What's that?
And it was something else. It wasn't a Dream Whiskies thing. Yeah. And then some cream. So we want 20 ml of cream. So let's get the cream in there as well. Okay, very nice. I'm really interested to see whether this makes you think of cherry bakewells or not. Because there's some other flavours in there, and these flavours could potentially end up clashing with one another. But hey, let's see. I think you're going to like this. There we
It
go.
looks like it's curdled, but
It's-
it's not.
well,
You're going to shake it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's sort of separated, there's a lot of things do look like they curdled. But do you remember the one we did last week, which looked really bad until we shook it up?
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's give it a good shake. All right, we are good. And let's open it up. Oh, I didn't rinse my strainer out, so I'm going to do the old-fashioned strain. Here we go. Okay, it's quite thin, but I like the
It's got a slight hint of pink.
look of it actually.
Looks nice. Looks pretty.
So, the recipe says that I need to garnish with a cherry, but now looking at it, I thought maybe it was going to be thick enough to sit the cherry on the top, but cherry's not going to sit on the top here. So I wonder how I do this. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is this, and let's pop that in there, maybe like so. There we go. All right, that's fine. There you are. So what is this called again? Cherry and banana bakewell. A cherry and banana bakewell. Looks interesting. What else we got going on, ladies and gentlemen?
That's the cherry gone.
Oh yeah, Paul saying guava went with the banana and ice cream on week 1, so we have used it in.
Yeah.
I'm wondering whether Mark spotted that and thought, well, maybe, oh, I know you've got some guava.
Yeah.
Maybe you can use that.
This is good.
Nice.
It's actually quite thick when you're drinking it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
Let me have a taste.
That works.
Actually, that's surprising. In terms of when you're talking about it being thick, that's actually quite surprising because it's much thicker than it looks when it pours. Really silky. I'm not sure that it tastes like a bakewell, but it tastes really nice, I have to say. What we got here? Dave, what are you saying? Nice gentle breeze around the pond, fish are feeding and whiskey going down well, 26 degrees.
Where are you, Dave?
Yeah, where are you, Dave? Let us know where you are.
26, are you UK, I'm guessing?
Gary's not Gary's definitely up north. I'm sure Gary's in Ireland. And Kaz Bridges, how you doing, our multiple geek and setter of many great questions? Sounds lovely. Yeah, I think it sounds lovely. So you've got 3 very different drinks here.
Very different.
Just let me remind myself how much I like this. Liking that. All right. So you know how this works. In the next certain amount of minutes, Cheryl is going to make a decision. Before we do that, let's do the last 3 questions of our Whiskey Geek of the Week competition for this week. Remember, question set by Cat Jan, who is either still with us or has said hello at the beginning and done something sensible like gone back outside and enjoyed the weather, assuming that she's somewhere where it's warm. I'm just assuming everyone's warm at the moment.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, no, Gary's already told us it's not warm where he is.
Yeah.
Question 10. Here we go. Question 10. I'd like to know which distillery has 3 copper stills, one of which is named after Darky Kelly, a notorious brothel owner who was burned at the stake as a witch in 1761. Wow.
Wow.
Love it.
What question is that?
What are you saying, Dave? Quite a few gin cocktails use pair with apple. Yeah. Can be mixed with vanilla or rosemary. Rosemary, you probably know.
Rosemary's good.
Yeah. Some good ideas there, Dave, actually. Tiny village in Lincolnshire. Oh, right. So you're a fair way up. So if it's 26 degrees up there,
I think it's at least. Well,
I don't know what it is here. Just melting.
Well,
we're south.
I looked earlier.
And hot.
It was 31 today.
So we were 31. Okay.
And it's about 28 now. So
Wow.
it hasn't dropped much at
No.
all. We're yeah.
But 26 up in Lincolnshire, in that part of the world, then yeah. I mean, I've been up to Lincolnshire quite a few times. Not for a number of years, but whenever I've been there, it's been sort of quite blowy.
But we're in Brighton, so we're as south as you
Yeah,
can
we're
get.
pretty south, but it's not as hot as London, but it's pretty hot, I would say. Kat, there you are. I wasn't sure if you were still with us. Nope, not that warm here. Nice, but not England warm. I'm not sure. Where are you, Kat? If you want to tell us, you don't have to tell us, of course. Oh, Kaz is in Lincolnshire too. Did you two know that? I mean, I know Lincolnshire's quite an expensive
county.
place, but there you go. Your neighbours, more or less. Bruce, what are you saying? Try the paired gin, 30ml with 20ml amaretto, 10ml simple syrup, lime and a bit of vanilla. Bruce, you're just like, He's almost like an
I knew
obsessive.
Bruce would come up with something.
Bruce, you're an obsessive mixologist,
He's
that's
brilliant.
for sure.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm loving all of that. Gary, yeah, Bangor, that's right. Yeah, just outside Belfast on the coast. So we've been to Belfast. We had a really nice time in Belfast. I went up there for some work. Cheryl came with me.
Yep, it was a good weekend.
We then sort of turned it into a bit of a holiday. Had a nice time. Really
Isn't
nice.
our neighbour from Belfast?
Yeah, we got a neighbour actually. He's from
Yeah.
Belfast as well. Yeah, okay, question number 11. I'm waffling here. Question number 11, let's find out where we are. So, which of the spots, okay, remember we're talking about Irish whiskey here, which of the spots is the most expensive? All right, so you should, if you know about Irish whiskey, you know about these. There's blue spot, red spot, yellow spot, and green spot. So out of those 4 spots, which one is the most expensive? Okay, that was question number 11. One more question in our Whiskey Geek, then we're going to go back for a quick review of the cocktails. I will then give the Whiskey Geek answers, and then we're going to find out who won that and who's into our final.
Okay.
Pop round anytime, Gaz. Yay. Gary saying, yes, Bruce, thinking amaretto myself. I guess that makes sense, right? The sweetness of it.
What, gin and amaretto? Gin
Well, the pear gin. You think about the kernels in amaretto, the almonds, yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, that's quite a good idea. I think I might do that.
We can try that at the weekend.
Yeah, we'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah.
We will let you know how that goes. Question number 12.
Anybody wants to pop round, they can pop round. We can try out a few cocktails.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen now. It's going to have 500 people banging on the door.
I don't think
And
so.
when I say 500 people, I don't know where the 500 people are coming
Yeah, I
from.
was
We've only,
gonna say
we've only
five.
we've only got a
Five
handful of people watching us at the moment. 12, here we go. In 2018, and by the way, half of you are in the United States as well. In 2018, who released Cold Brew, a triple distilled Irish whiskey infused with 100% Arabica bean coffee? Okay, so Cold Brew in 2018, who released that triple distilled Irish whiskey infused with 100% Arabica bean coffee? All right, that is question 12. So those are our 12 questions. You got some time to pull that together. Cheryl's now put the last 3 questions up. Bruce is saying, I love creating recipes, do it all the time with food. I change up recipes to create my own. Well, look, Bruce, actually,
got something in common, haven't you?
I think so, yeah. Bruce, for me, that's what developing new recipes is about. The amount of times that, you know, I've started with something, ended up with something else, sometimes it's quite disgusting. Other times it's inspired, and other times it's somewhere in the middle. But if you don't push yourself and you don't try it, you just end up with the same thing, right?
Martin Mush.
Cheryl
Martin
calls it
Mushy.
Martin Mush, right? So food, this is not drinks now, but food. So I like to be as creative as possible, and when she gets the food, she said, just looks like mush. So we used to have this phrase called Martin Mush.
Martin's Mush.
That's yeah. Anyway, Bruce, what's going on? We should have a members recipe submission page, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a cute
Good idea.
idea. You know what? That's a really
Yeah.
cute idea. I like that, Bruce, a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think about that. There you go. Gary's gone, okay, put up your address. Yeah, right. See, this is
Coming down.
this is the moment where I just get Cheryl to think about something else. And what we're going to do is going to think about these 3 cocktails. So you've got cocktail number 3,
Okay.
cocktail number 1,
Yeah.
cocktail number 2. Don't want your decision yet.
Okay.
Just your overview, your thoughts.
Try again.
And the winner of this week, so whether it's who's in this week, Charlie or Lubka or Mark, whichever of the 3 of you, you are going to join Jeff and Dave in the final in 2 weeks' time, live here. And we're going to find out who the first Dream Whiskies viewers cocktail champion is. And remember, the winner will get a little cocktail set which we'll send to you, but hopefully you consider to be an even better prize. I will put the winner's recipe in my next cocktail book. I have to say, my next cocktail book is not coming out for a while yet. But when it comes out, I promise you, your recipe will be in with a whole mention and everything. Okay, so what are your thoughts?
Okay, so my thoughts going from the right to the left. So this one surprised me. Okay, because it's got the creme de menthe, which I don't really like,
No.
and I'm not really a sour type of drink.
Yeah.
Type of girl. So that one I really enjoy. So
Yeah.
that one ticks quite a few boxes for me.
Okay, lots of boxes ticked.
This one I've tried it again.
Okay.
And it does need a little bit of something else. It hasn't got enough depth with it.
I agree. I think it needs some
Yeah,
sweetness,
it needs some
and the sweetness
sweetness.
can come from anything, from sugar,
Yeah.
amaretto, whatever. Yeah, I agree.
Banana, cherry, cream, sweetness.
Yeah,
That's kind of me, really.
that's all the things you love.
It is all the things that I love.
But you got to kind of be an impartial judge and read between lines. But look, I'm going to let you think about that. So I'm going to give the answers to our Whiskey Geek of the Week competition. We'll find out who's won that, and we're going to then come back to Cheryl for the final winner. In other words, the final winner, the one who's going to join Jeff and Dave in the final in 2 weeks' time. What's this? Dave, don't worry about you being on holiday. Just leave the door open and the gin's on the bar. Okay.
Will you come and look after the dogs for us?
Yeah, I bet they will.
We've got 4 dogs that need looking
Yeah,
after.
they'll come back. They'll look after the dogs. We'll come back. We'll find dogs drunk on the floor. We'll find an empty bar. I know what's going to happen. All right, everyone. Let's go through the answers for this. This is Cat Jam's Whiskey Geek of the Week quiz. Brilliant job, I think, Cat. So thank you very much for doing those questions. Brilliant job. Here we go. Question number 1, 2, and 3. They were all anagrams. The first one, lush limbs. Lush limbs, we were looking for Bushmills. Bushmills. If you got Bushmills, give yourself 1 point. And well done. Question 2, angled ghoul. Angled ghoul, we were looking for Glendalough. Glendalough, or Glendalough. I have heard people pronounce it as well, but Glendalough. And and give yourself a point if you got that as well. And then finally, Egg Ink Lab. We're looking for Kilbeggan. Kilbeggan. I've been to Kilbeggan.
Have you?
Yeah, a really surprising little place. It's a little bit like you walk in and you walk around the place. It's a bit like, I don't know, like a cottage industry, and the visitor centre is a bit like they've got their kids to do it, and just love it.
And when you go into the pub, do they say to you, stick to the path?
They do. They do. And I did. I stuck to the path in Kilbeggan. And I came out with some really nice whiskey. It's great up there. I absolutely love it. Okay, here we go for question number 4. So they're the first 3, point for each of those. Question number 4 was, what is the nickname of Dublin's historic whiskey quarter? We're looking for the Golden Triangle. The Golden Triangle. If you got that, give yourself a point. What else have we got here? No problem with the dogs. We'll bring Mighty. There you go. That's how it works. You placate dogs with more dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the Golden Triangle. Question number 5. So from the 70s until 2015, Dublin actually had no working distilleries. But at its peak, it had how many? A, 22, B, 27, C, 35. What do you reckon?
27?
It wasn't 27.
Oh, okay.
It was 35. It had 35. Wow. So C, 35. Give yourself a point if you got that. Question 6. Which distillery opened in 2017 in a former church which has the founder's grandfather buried in the graveyard? Now, just to be clear, it is a former church. It opened in 2017 when the founder's grandfather was alive. The founder then murdered his grandfather and buried him in the graveyard. No, that's a lie.
No. Massive, big
It's just a big lie. Okay, if you got this, congratulations. It is Pierce Lyons Distillery. Pierce Lyons Distillery. Great questions from Kat, don't you think?
They're lovely.
7.
I like the historical.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I really like that. Okay, what is the world's oldest licensed distillery? So there's 2 points up for grabs here. If you get the distillery, 1 point. If you actually get the year, I'll give you another point. And you might think that nailing the year is difficult because it could be any year, but actually the year features prominently on some of its bottles and brands. So anyway, what is the world's oldest licensed distillery? We're looking for Bushmills. So it's the second time we
Right,
had
let me have a
Bushmills.
look. Let me see if we.
I don't think we got any Bushmills on
So
the back there.
Bushmills is like, I don't know, 1500s.
1500s.
Yeah.
Not bad. It's not the 1500s.
Okay.
It's specifically 1608. If you got 1608, you get another point. So
100
2
years
points
out.
up for grabs there. You're only 100 years out. Well, when you say 1500s, you could have been 1599. You were 7 years out, 9 years out.
Yeah, okay.
Question 8. Which distillery owner, whose initials feature in the brand name, worked his way up to owner from being a distillery boy? And it's this one. It's for Tullamore Dew. It's Daniel E. Williams. We're looking for Daniel E. Williams, D-E-W. That's where the Dew comes from
You joking?
in
Is that
Tullamore
right?
Dew. Well,
Oh,
according
wow.
to Kat, which is a really tasty bit of information.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, love that. Love that.
I thought it was dew as in drops.
Dewdrops,
and-
yeah.
dewdrops,
Yeah, I think I always thought that as well.
Oh,
Because it makes sense. Right, so point for that if you got it. To be honest, I think you deserve more if you got it, but a point nevertheless. Question number 9. Which is the only peated Irish single malt? The only peated Irish single malt. And just to remind you, Cheryl asked this question, didn't you?
I did.
While I was...
yeah, but
toweling
I didn't
myself
look at
down.
The answer.
No. The answer is Connemara. Connemara. Looking for Connemara. Question 10. Which distillery has... if I had to guess which one you're going to pick... right? If you notice... which distillery has 3 copper stills? One of which is named after Darky Kelly. That sounds like a gangster, like a
It sounds more like a DJ to me.
Darky Kelly.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of some kind of gangster, back in New Orleans or somewhere like that. Anyway, Darky Kelly was actually a notorious brothel owner who was burned at the stake as a witch in 1761. Distillery we're looking for is Dublin Liberties Distillery. Dublin Liberties Distillery. Good questions. Question 11. So the spots, right? Green spot, red spot, etc. Which of the spots is the most expensive? So your choice is blue, red, yellow, or green.
I'm going to go for red.
It is red. Red spot is the most expensive. Here we go. So the barrels were originally marked with a blob of coloured paint to signify how long they would be matured for. Red was the longest at 15 years. So there you go. That's where the spots came from. It's just some brilliant stuff here. And then the final question. In 2018, who released Cold Brew? It was a triple distilled Irish whiskey infused with 100% Arabica bean coffee. We're looking for Jameson, okay? Jameson. So that is 12 questions with 13 points up for grabs. So your score is out of 13. So what we're going to do, I'm going to ask you, as ever, if you've been playing along, pop your score in the comments. The one that gets the best score, you know what's going to happen. You will be our latest Whiskey Geek of the Week. And while you're doing that, so please put your scores in, I'm going to go to the judge who has absolutely murdered cocktail number 3. And cocktails 1 and 2 remain relatively untouched.
I was being kind.
Yeah.
Because I know that you really like that one. So I left that one for you.
Oh, for me.
So it doesn't necessarily mean to say that I've chosen this
No.
one. Because I've drunk that one.
Right.
Because I know that you like that one.
So who's the winner?
So, and this is really, really, really tough.
Same as the last 2 weeks.
No, I know.
They've both been really tough.
I know, they have been really tough.
I'm actually thinking, if you think back over the last 2 weeks, if we'd have mixed the cocktails up in a different way, they might have, I don't know whether they would have fallen differently or whatever, but it's quite difficult to decide how you judge 3 against 3 against 3, which ones you
I
judge.
don't think so, because I know the first week I couldn't decide between any of them at all. So that was really tough. And actually the last 2 weeks I've gone for the one that I was most surprised with.
Mm.
This week I'm going to go for the one that I've completely finished.
So,
Yeah.
so our winner this week, joining Jeff and Dave in the final. This one belongs to
Who gave me that?
Mark
gorgeous thing?
Rosso. I'm not sure.
Well done,
I think it
Mark.
might be Russo. I think there's no U here, but it looks like it should have a U. So I don't know if you're Mark Rosso or Mark Russo. If I had to guess, I'd stick you in Canada somewhere. So I don't know if you're watching. Maybe you watch on Catch Up. Not entirely sure. But Mark, you are in the final with Jeff and Dave, and that final will take place live here on this bar. Hopefully not quite as hot, in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time. So many congratulations. I'd also like to say huge congratulations to Lubka and also to Charlie O. Charlie, I just want to say really surprised with your sour and personally very impressed with it. Lubka, I think you're pretty much there. Just needed a bit more sweetness to bring that through. But the idea of bringing the spice together with the pear and the vermouth, I think works really quite nicely
really
as well.
nice.
So congratulations all of you, but big congratulations to Mark. And looking forward to the final, the big mix-off between Jeff and Dave and Mark. So brilliant job. Would love to have had a little taste of that.
Yeah.
But sadly,
Just make another one.
long gone, long gone.
Yeah.
All right, who out of you guys is our Whiskey Geek of the Week this week? And we are talking about, we're talking about Kat's Whiskey Geek of the
I
Week.
like Dave's comment here because I
What's he
agree
saying?
with him. I think Cheryl needs a refill.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Is that right? Refill the cherry cocktail. Which one do you mean? Here or from previous
The one that
weeks?
I've just drunk.
Oh yeah, I think she definitely needs a refill. She'll get me mixing one of those up after the broadcast. Definitely, Dave. Thanks for that. Gary, great questions. Kat, 7 for me. Yeah, I agree. Great questions. Bruce, I'm pondering what your pear gin would taste like with some of your lemon basil from your garden. And
they're only
what?
about that
Anyone?
big though at the moment. They're still weedy.
Yeah, they're still small actually,
Yeah.
but we'll get there with those. Let's make it a team effort. What else does it need? Yeah.
No,
Bruce,
please.
you're not only a mixologist,
Help us
you're a
out.
cheerleader
Help
as
us
well.
out.
Kaz, 10. 10 for Kaz. Great questions, Kat. Listen, Kat, if your questions have left Kaz with just 10, then you know they're pitched perfectly. Kevin, 6. I have to say this. Maybe I should tell you guys how I did. So when I get the questions through, try to answer them all myself. And all I'm going to say is that when I did them, I didn't score as many as Kaz, but I scored a little bit more than Kevin.
Did you?
Yeah, I knew a few of them. I think I got 7 or 8. I might have cheated on one in my own head. Not that anyone was watching, but I still cheated myself.
Did you Google?
Google on my own. I didn't need to Google because Kat had the answers there.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, Paul, just 6 for me tonight. Irish, not my thing, but great questions, Kat. Yeah. Everyone's saying thumbs up for Kat. Only problem was making the questions inspired me to order a bottle of Green Spot. Yeah, you say that's a problem. I think you're happy about that. Gary saying not mine either, Paul. But it's good to move into other areas, don't you think? It just sort of expands your knowledge. I really like the questions. Bruce, I'll be making that one and the others too. Fantastic. And Bruce, sweeten up the first one and chug it down, Cheryl. No, she's not. I'm having the first one. That's going inside here.
I think Bruce. I think your wife, because I think she's got a similar palate to me. I think she'll like the one that I've just glugged. He's taken the glass away from me already. Yeah, my glass. I think
Only
think
to make
your wife
another
will
one.
Like that one.
Yeah, I will be making another one. Right, so if no one beats Kaz, it looks like Kaz is just racking up the titles. Let's have a look.
What was that last comment?
That's the sweeten it up thing.
Sweeten it up.
Yeah, from that. All right, so it looks like Kaz. I'm going to give you just a few more moments if anyone else has got a better score than Kaz. It was out of 13. It looks like Kaz has nailed a 10, which looks like it's the best score, which means Kaz, you're probably running out of bottles of whiskey to hold in your photographs. But nevertheless, unless someone pops up in a moment, then we're talking about Kaz taking the crown back again, which is fantastic. So what else do I need to tell you? Just a reminder that our members spot prize quiz giveaway is this. It's where is it again? It's this actually. So it's these Fee Brothers old-fashioned aromatic bitters. In other words, they are specifically blended to create a fantastic old-fashioned. Bruce is saying my wife is an amaretto fan, and Kat is saying well done to Kaz. If you are not a member, we need members. We need members. Our membership, which we thank you all, we really rely on you guys. It is right there on the level for us. You know, we got just about enough for us to tick over with you guys, but we need more of you to sign up. If you like what we do, please consider getting involved, signing up, becoming a member, and then it means that, you know, at the end of the week, every week when I tell you about who's won our spot prizes and who's won our fabulous whiskies, it could be you. We obviously really appreciate your support on these broadcasts, but we do need to grow our membership if we are going to grow in the future and be able to sort of continue doing what we do for you. So if you like it, please sign up. Having said that, remember, if you are a member, you still have the opportunity to sign up to our whiskey cocktail course, which is part of your membership, and you can get into that for free, and you can find out how to do that every week when you enter the whiskey competition, because there's a link through to that, so you can do that. And also, we are still inviting applications for affiliates on that, and still signing a few people up. Dave, I know you sent something in, and that's being processed. No problem with approving you, but it's being processed, and they'll be in touch with you soon. What else? I think that's about it. So we won't be here next week.
No, we will be in Cheddar.
We will be in Cheddar,
Yes.
which is a gorgeous part of the UK.
Gorgeous.
Oh,
Cheddar Gorgeous.
yeah, it's like I even meant to say
Yeah,
that. So Cheddar Gorge is a gorgeous part of the UK. We're going to be there for a few days, which means we can't do the broadcast next week. But hopefully you will forgive us for that. And we'll be back in 2 weeks' time with the grand final of this fabulous whiskey cocktail competition.
I can't wait.
I'm quite excited about
There's
it.
there's those three really.
Yeah.
I'm going to struggle. I'm really going to struggle.
But I'm not. I'm not going to struggle. I'm going to make 3 excellent variations of those 3 cocktails by Dave, by Jeff, by Mark, who won tonight. And out of the 3 of them, Cheryl will pick a champion. Kaz saying, love the Cheddar Gorge. Listen, always great to, no matter how many of you manage to tune in, always great to do this for you guys. Hope you have enjoyed this evening's broadcast. Thank you, Bruce. Really appreciate your comments. Always really appreciate your support. We will see you in a fortnight's time. So between then, or rather now and then, look after yourself, stay safe, drink whiskey, and be happy. See you soon.
Good night.
Bye.